Hello everyone, Drudge here. Welcome back to a Suggestion Saturday video. This is a little bit of late in the video. A little bit of unexpected things going on lately past few days. That's why there wasn't a video yesterday, but tomorrow I plan on releasing about 3 videos. And then I also want to try to get back into going for 2 videos per day. Certain things are allowing me to do so again, whereas before I couldn't. Okay, first up, I want to make the announcement for this coming Saturday. Now, before I made the official announcement that there was going to be an update on the 17th for a event, me hosting an event for you guys, I didn't realize it was actually going to be these skilling or these different types of themed weekends for the month of December. I kind of should have known because I've been through these for a few times now. But I also just noticed too that there is a Bossing and Slayer weekend for that weekend. So instead of, for the players who are playing and don't want to take a break from that and just want to keep grinding away, instead of doing a Clue Scroll one, come tomorrow actually, I was going to say Monday, but I'll do it tomorrow. Come tomorrow, I'm going to post a video, and it's going to have a few different riddles on the bottom of the screen, and in the description. But those riddles, I'm going to have the comments turned off for this video. It's going to be a very short video. It's mostly to read the riddles, and then if you don't want to to hear them, you can just read them. If you don't want to read them, you can listen to them, etc. And what it is I want people to contact me in game with their answers, and that's how you will be able to get the bonds. Now, if you don't have an RS account and you are interested in trying RuneScape, then all you'd have to do is make a free account. Even if it's a free account, you can still do this. So all you'd have to do is make a free account and then message me in game. If you're not sure how the messaging system works, contact me on this video, a different video, etc. Whatever works best for you, and we will sort that out on explaining how you go about adding people, how you go about contacting people in game. My chats are always open, whether I'm on my hardcore account or my regular account. My regular account is the same as the channel name. It's Vidroj, and my hardcore account is Vindraj. Just in case you guys haven't seen it on the front page, because it is lower in the description of the channel, so just in case. But for this giveaway, depending on how many people respond back with actual answers in my private chat, depends on who responds first, who answers first, and that's how it's going to go. And then that Saturday I'll make a video announcing the winners, and then I'll find you, and then we'll go from there. Otherwise, it's a Suggestion Saturday video. Now, I'm actually really excited to make this video, mostly because I had intended for this video, these videos, to actually have feedback from a previous one, and then go maybe into a few ideas, and then go back, kind of back and forth. And this time, for the one suggestion we have already, I actually have some feedback from somebody. Now, I copied and pasted it into WordPad, but Frantic says, he goes, "I'm sorry," and this is regarding the minigame rework idea I had about an XP pool. And he goes, "I'm sorry to disagree with you. I have quit RuneScape due to minigames dying out, but this would not bring me back to the game, as it would solve one problem but create a whole lot more. If these minigames were to change and there's an XP pool of some kind that you can use for another skill, actually going out into the real world and doing so would be a waste of time and pointless. Imagine if the minigame did change to your suggestion. I bet you wouldn't be doing as much divination, like skill, like in this video. You'll be saying it's a waste of time. I can get much quicker XP at the minigame. Skills would then die out, which would leave a lack of resources and extreme price rising as supply has dramatically decreased. I hope one day minigames are fixed, but in the correct manner. Maybe new items to aim for rather than a bunch of XP. And now I did respond to him, of course, and I thought more and more about it after I had actually responded to. And I do agree with the fact that an XP reward might come off as overpowered. But before I even address any of that, the reason why I'm avoiding introducing a new item or new items into different mini games is because that's only a temporary fix. And that's why I have issues with a lot of games in their mini games, because they'll release like an item or two and it'll bring back life to the mini game, but only for a short while and only for certain mini games. And if it's going to have to keep bringing people back time and time again, it would have to degrade, and it'd have to be really powerful that it could outperform any other item in its slot. Otherwise, if it's not the most powerful item for that area, people aren't going to bother with it, because they'd much rather just get the powerful item and keep reusing that. That's why I don't I'm all for, new items in the mini games, but I don't think that would be a long-term fix. But now there was a different idea I did have that could actually potentially help mini games too, and it would actually be completely devoid of, a XP pool or new items and all of that. I mean, you could still do the new items, you could still do an XP pool, but you wouldn't really be required. And that would be because there's a lot of people who do still love mini games. But a big problem with the mini games is, let's say you're the only person on at the time that actually wants to go play that mini game. Well, then you can't. You could spend hours trying to figure it out, but it's not going to happen. People would get, that's the most discouraging point of the mini games. So my one thought was, why not have an AI? And let's say it's something like Castle Wars, and I forget the exact size of the teams you have to start, but let's say it's 10 and 10, just to throw out some numbers, and let's say only one person shows. Well, instead of just having that person go there, waste their time, not be able to do anything, instead of that, once that person goes in there, the counter starts. And once that counter hits the time where people are supposed to go in, that's another thing, they need shorter countdown times. I know back when I used to do mini games myself, the counter was so long, you'd be waiting in there forever, it felt like. So maybe a shorter time frame, unless that has already been fixed, because like I said, it's been a long time since I've been in a mini game. Mostly due to the fact that it's usually dead. But yeah, once that timer would go out, you'd go into the mini game, and the rest of the members would all be AI. And we're not talking just your run-of-the-mill dumb AI, that gets stuck on walls and stuff like that. They would need to be able to generate, AI that's actually, intelligent. And I believe they have the capability of doing this now. Maybe they didn't so much before, but with all the stuff like the world events, the God Wars Dungeon 2, all these other things, it's very possible for them to generate some AI that could actually pose a little bit of threat. or a good amount of threat. So I think that would probably actually be the best solution, is to introduce AI. This way minigames would always be available at any time for anybody. That I feel would be the best solution now. New items, yes, here and there, but I don't think that should be the main draw point. But I do believe, an AI system over anything else is probably the best bet for long term. I had something else that just crossed my mind, but I kind of long weekend. Alright, so that is my reply to them, and a new reply for everybody else. This way we can, maybe work to get these mini games fixed and up and running again, because there is people who want to play them, but we just don't want to spend the time waiting. And that's the biggest issue, is not having people there all the time. AI would essentially fix that issue. Okay, don't save that. Now, I know I'm a little bit late for this video. I thought of this week. I'm going to start announcing the different weekends. So far it was the ARC weekend, which was last weekend. This weekend is the Skilling weekend, which there still is time for. It's 9th of December through the 12th. And you get double XP and reputation at Artisan's Workshop. Now I did hear this does not apply to Iron Man accounts. Everything else, yes, that, no. Otherwise, you got increased node spawns and reward points at Runespan, bonus chance to enjoy jeweled statues while wearing Ring of Wealth, and double chance of Scepter and Black Ibis drops at Pyramid Plunder. Enriched divination nodes spawn every 10 minutes. Fishing spots stay in place twice as long. Divination wisp lasts twice as long. Mining nodes and trees replenish twice as quickly. And plus 50% Big Chinchompa XP. The next weekend is the Bossing and Slayer weekend. I'll do an announcement a little bit closer to time for that. Otherwise, this week's suggestions. Okay, the Mysterious Elf of Saren. Now, I seen this, and you know what? It's like he said, the Children of Maul, the quest is already out. It's a little bit late, but like he says, get over it. This idea would be actually pretty cool. Now, I haven't seen Nightmares from Children of Mospa, but I know a lot of the creatures in these series look pretty sweet. And a nightmare pet from these would be pretty awesome. Yeah, it would be late, but you know what? Who cares? I mean, if people are really into it, let's go for it. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I mean, introducing new pets, I always think that's a good idea. A lot of people like pets, so why not just do it? And if it's something that looks really sick, really badass, why not just do it? Of course, you got one for, one against, but that you're always going to have some people for it and some people against it. That's just how that works. World count downsizing. They're saying about dropping down the size of the worlds. Now, I don't really think it's necessarily an idea that actually needs to happen. Because, I mean, if it's not going to improve quality of the servers, if it's not going to improve quality of the game, there's not a whole lot of point, other than it would just restrict in case there is a surge of growth. And RuneScape is a game that is constantly kind of on the change, and they've been doing more and more to do more and more advertising. And you got, a lot of YouTubers, you got a lot of Twitchers out there now who are actually doing RuneScape. So I think as this game gets advertised more and more, I don't really think that would be a good idea if they downsize it, because then later on they might have to increase it. So I mean, if it doesn't really help anything, I can't see. Ooh, excuse me. I can't see doing it. If it doesn't help, performance, whatever, I can't see the point of it, because then it'd just be kind of, shooting themselves in the foot. Up next, we got the Pest King Tower Defense. Okay, this is actually a long idea, so what I'm going to do I want to favorite this idea. This idea, I like the concept of what it is about, and I really want to give this one my complete attention, because it sounds like it has a lot of potential and pretty cool. So I really would actually like to read into that a lot more. Now this one is Dungeoneering Endurance Mode. The title alone caught my attention, and now some of these, yeah, I do go just off the title before I look at them, before I even go over it in the video, which is something I gotta kind of work on that. But this would be a new mode for Dungeoneering, and with increased difficulty and new rewards. And this is about, you can get faced with tougher enemies and limited resources. Binds would not work, but the player's current equipment and inventory would carry over from one floor to the next, along with current health and any statuses, buffs, or debuffs. Players would earn XP and unique tokens for taking on this mode's floors. Like normal mode, you could increase the rates by prestiging floors. However, there is one difference. Between each floor, players would get the option to continue or quit. If they quit, they are presented with the rewards they have earned up to this point. If they continue, of course they can earn more, but they risk losing all their tokens and half their XP should they die on the next floor. Now, I like this idea, and it sounds really good to me, except in especially, I don't know if they're coming from like a legacy point of view, but if you're in the EOC, this really isn't an issue, especially since monsters drop a lot of food. So I mean, with some change in mechanics, like maybe as the farther you go along, the tougher enemies, yeah, but also maybe the enemies drop less items, maybe they drop less food. I would think that would be very good. Like, that would actually make it increasingly harder. I do like that idea. And I think it's actually a very good one, and it would bring probably more life back to Dungeoneering. And this actually reminds me, there is other Dungeoneering ideas I've seen that I rather like too, and it's different Dungeoneering locations. So instead of always going to Daemonheim, you can go to, maybe there's a Dungeoneering location in the desert, and maybe, like different locations. And I think that would be actually rather cool to have different modes, different locations, and just maybe like an elite Dungeoneering area. That to me would be pretty cool. Like, you maybe, because like what one person suggested before, I thought was really neat, since we're on the Dungeoneering topic, was, I think it was like a floating Dungeoneering dungeon, and it was based in the desert, but it was in the sky, and it was, it was just a different dungeon, different rewards, which is, pretty cool in its own. But I would like for it to be, like, it to be Dungeoneering, but a different type of Dungeoneering. It would be like maybe an elite version, so the enemies would be harder. It could be like a mixture. It could be its own area just for like something like this, you know, the endless mode. And or not, you know, but you know, if you ask me, it should be harder. It could be more interesting. There could be more mechanics to it, more complex creatures, etc. I think that would be really cool. See, Dungeoneering has a very good base to it, but the skill has been that base for a very long time. And I think there is a lot of potential in this skill yet to get more and more stuff out. But that'll do it for today's video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think of all these different ideas down in the comments below, of course, or in-game. Also, let me know what you guys think of the rehashing, the retalking, of going over the comments from previous suggestions. I rather like that idea. I like the back and forth kind of discussion. And sometimes I feel like I can actually verbally say it better, sometimes not. But also, if I don't respond to a comment right away, I'm either usually busy or I read your comment and I really wanted to think about it and give you good, solid feedback. So I apologize to that other guy because I felt like I responded just a little too soon to be giving him a proper response. When, you know, my initial response, it seemed kind of rushed, like it wasn't very organized, and I apologize for that. I think it should have been a little bit better, more thought out, because I kind of responded almost the same day, and I would like to actually give it, you know, at least a couple days of thinking it over, or even a day or two. Well, you know, even just a day of just, you know, thinking it over while I'm at work. Otherwise, you know, just let me know what you guys think. Always open to suggestions and ideas. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, later guys.